In a noisy classroom, a voice echoes. Shirakawa-san, I saw the ranking chart. Exam score rankings. Name, Ashina Hitomi for 89. Imai Ryohei for 78. Sekiguchi Asahiko for 70. Ushidome Kuin smiled, holding up his chopsticks. As expected, you're in the top 20 for the combined score again. Shirakawa-san looked up at him, smiling. Ushidome Kuin, you're the one who's amazing. You got the first place for both Japanese and English. Ushidome Kun blushed. Both looked down, smiling and admiring. Aimanert. And don't sell yourself short. You flatter me. I'm not that great. A girl from side complimented. You two really do suit each other. The boy swallowed and nodded. Yeah, a voice echoed in the classroom. Why don't you two just start dating already? Shirakawa-san's eyes widened. A blush spreading across her face. Ushidome Kun's face mirrored hers, equally shocked and embarrassed. Chasama-san, mischievous as ever, whispered. Wait, maybe you're already dating? I mean, come on. Lately, you've been staying in the classroom after school by yourselves. Ushidome Kun flustered, stammered. Cha? Kya red heart, a girl interjected. Chaosiyama-san, you shouldn't say stuff like that. Haha. That kind of thing is between the two of them. It's a delicate subject, right? Ushidome Kun just stood there, silent, and then confidently smiled. Did you hear that? Shirakawa-san. Yes. What a terrible misunderstanding, Ushidome Kun boldly declared. After school, once everyone has gone home, we make sure to check that the classroom is properly locked, as is our duty as class representatives. Shirakawa-san added, and while we're at it, as is the logical thing to do, we just study together until then, that's all. The girl beside them asked, Yeah, so you're not dating? I thought you were having secret flirting sessions. Shirakawa-san shouted while blushing. There's no way. As class reps, we must set a good example. A student's main duty is to study. Romance is not something I have time for. The girl declared, I can't spare even a single second for it. Ushidame Kun's face paled white as if he'd been struck by lightning, but he just said it. Hey, as I thought, Shirakawa-san and I are like-minded. It's the same for me. Right now, I want to focus on my studies. I'm in no position for romance. Yeah, it's understandable that he is saving his skin, but Shirakawa-san was struck by lightning too from this. Something fishy is going on here. That's too bad. The short-haired girl sighed, holding her drink box. I was hoping we could go on a double date together or something. Our MCs agreed together. Ha. Sorry to say, but a day like that. The dark-haired boy chuckled awkwardly. Yeah, probably will never come. The light-haired boy, Mekyuin, began, looking down. This is just what I think, but how should I put it? Love is kinda illogical, isn't it? The reasons we fall in love with someone, I think they're just things we come up with afterwards, because before we even realize it, our hearts have already moved. He gasped. Grin. Makuin was hunched over his desk, blushing furiously at the girl. That was so well put. Makuin, this is what I love about you. Makuin covered his mouth, mortified, and shout. Sorry, forget I said anything. The girl casually sipped from her juice box, smiling. Ushidome Kun and Shirakawa-san both glared at Makuin, and their sights clashed. But not long. Both blushed, stealing their eyes. Ding dong. Gakun. The school day ended, and the students were beginning to pack their bags, but something was still going on. The hallway was empty. This long sentence is a bit complex, Ushidome Kun said, or which Shirakawa-san replied. I agree. The explanation should be around here in the reference book. There's a lot of unfamiliar words. The girl thought, and this kind of grammar structure can be confusing. She continued to think that we'll have to be careful not to misunderstand anything. The girl thought, yes, you're right. We need to be careful about misunderstanding and make sure there's no mistakes. Ushidome Kun replied Pirelli while indulging into his own thoughts. I enjoyed schoolwork ever since I was little. There was always a correct answer. It was logical, and somehow that felt comforting. The reason I volunteered to be a class rep was simply because I thought it was the most logical choice at the time. Ushidome Kun stood at the front. The teacher was announcing, "Okay, we need 2 class representatives. Is there anyone else?" It's a troublesome task that someone just has to do. Waiting around for another volunteer is a waste of time. Ushidame-kun thought to himself, "Is there anyone who can work alongside Ushidame-kun as the vice representative?" Teacher continued, "Yes, teacher," a voice chirped. "I can do it, if you don't mind me." The girl stood behind the desk, her left arm slightly raised. Her eyes were now open and strikingly intense. "The truth is," she murmured, her voice barely a whisper, "ever since that day, I can't come to a logical conclusion. Even though it should be a simple problem, I keep going around in circles." He stared out the window, lost in thought. I wonder why a blankness filled his mind. Could it be? His thoughts drifted, a question forming in his heart. What does Shirakawa-san really think of me? Oshidomikon. The thought echoed. If you don't mind me." He sat beside her, focused on his work. Ushidomikon blushed, his eyes fixed on her. He realized Shirakawa was tightly holding his hands around her arms, providing the softness of her cousins. He was flustered, but quite happy. After all, it's not every day a baddie is stucking her hands into her assets. Shirakawa-san asked, "Have you ever heard of oxytocin?" Ushidomikon looked confused, and he was swading water alongside. Brothers literally nerfed at this moment. Shirakawa-san continued, "When you're tired from studying or feeling stressed, oxytocin is helpful. It's a hormone by the hypothalamus in the brain. In response to physical touch with someone you're close to," but her courage ran out and she realized what she was saying. So she continued, my apologies. Please forget about that. And about what I said, really?" Shirakawa-san, trying to leave, shouted, "It's all a misunderstanding." But Ushidomikon held her hands. Stopping her, he said, "I know about oxytocin too. There's no misunderstanding by taking breaks like that. We can study more efficiently. It's perfectly logical in my opinion. W, what do you think?" "How is it, Ushidomikon?" Shirakawa-san asked. Ushidomikon blushed. "Yes, I think it feels nice to be physically close to you like this, Shirakawa-san." Ushidomikon, face flushed, stammered, He paused, lost for words. Ushidomikon thought, "It's being secreted a lot." Then, louder, "It feels good. Thank you very much." He then asked shyly, "How about you, Shirakawa-san?" Shirakawa-san hesitated before admitting quietly, "It feels good for me too." Manga _2_analysis.txt. Russell. Bada. Gachlong Gatten Gotan. She thought desire, Gambu, or Setsubu Suru. Then recover, Kaifuku Suru. Her eyes widened slightly. Affection, she thought. Gachlong Gatten Gotan. She glanced up, a little lost in thought. Stranger, Tanin, desire, stranger, affection, stimulate, abandon. What's with this list? She sat on the train, clutching a pamphlet. Ve lo tieptatu. 999. The classroom faded in, sunlight streaming through the window. There sat a boy and a girl, desks apart, a world between them. Thinking calmly about what happened yesterday, a breath held, eyes locked. It was kind of only hands remained, his gently covering hers. The touch, electric, unspoken. How should I put it? On the train, 2 students gasped, eyes wide with shock. Smack! She slapped her cheeks. "No, don't hurt yourself, Shirakawa-san." Tingle. Her head was spinning. "And oh," she blurted out in her mind. It was purely logical. Oxytocin relaxed the stress of studying. Okishitoshin wa benko no sutorezu uyara vajeta. She mused, her cheeks started to flush. Right? It's not as if I like him or anything. Her blush deepened, but she continued to deny it. Suddenly, her thoughts spiraled. But what if Ushidome-kun misunderstood? She imagined Ushidome-kun gently holding her hands. Hearts floated all around them. Back in reality, she hunched over, clutching her book. Blush, the older woman smiled. What a hard-working student. The older man, with a hint of pink on his cheeks, chuckled. So admirable. The school building loomed, students milling about. It was just another morning that Akiyama-san, beaming, greeted them. "Good morning." Shirakawa-san, ever polite, added, Good morning, Chaosiyama-san and Akiyama-san. Akiyama-san excitedly held up a treat. Take a look at this. I bought it at the convenience store. Ding dong. It's a new soda flavor, roasted soybean flour. So ridiculous. It's not tasty at all. Click Chisuma-san, phone in hand, said, "It'll probably disappear soon, so I'll take a photo," but our girl, not seemingly interested, scanned the room. "Where's Ushidome-kun? He'd usually be here by now." Akiyama grimaced. "Seriously, this taste is awful." Shirakawa-san, "If you're looking for Ushidome-kun, I saw him in the hallway talking to Tanaka-sensei." Shirakawa-san replied, "I see." Shirakawa-san sat at her desk, but suddenly realized and gasped. "Did I say I was looking for Ushidome-kun or something?" You didn't. Sorry if I was wrong." Reply to Akiyama that Ushidome-kun walked in. "Good morning." Akiyama replied, "Hey Ushidome, what did the teacher scold you for?" On which he said defendingly, "Excuse me? I wasn't being scolded." Shirakawa-san tried her best. "Good morning." Ushidome-kun looked at her, silent, pushed up his glasses. Our girl sighed, a little annoyed, but Ushidome-kun continued. "Just now, Tanaka-sensei asked me." She paused. "To collect notebooks from everyone in the class by the end of the day, and to bring them to the prep room. Let's divide the work and get it done by lunchtime. I'll collect the notebooks from the boys." "So," Ushidome-kun continued, "Shirakawa-san, please collect them from the girls, and yes." She whispered, "All right, I understand." The classroom was now full, the teacher lecturing at the front. Shirakawa-san looked at Ushidome. She blushed, and she looked down, almost shyly. "I'm glad. Ushidome-kun is his usual self. I'm glad there was no misunderstanding. I'm glad. We're just like before. Nothing has changed. It's true, isn't it? Their connection, it's still there." She clenched hands were clenched tightly. Clench. Her expression was serious, thoughtful. Ushidome looked at her from the side angle. "Bro's a jerk. I mean, he could have at least said good morning." The doorway to the social studies preparation room was slightly open. The room inside was dark. The girl and the boy were standing in front of the closed door, each holding a stack of books. "This is a problem. Is Tanaka-sensei still having lunch?" she asked. He looked surprised. "Since no one's here," she frowned. SWSH. Sound echoing as she seemed to reach a decision, but hands carefully placing a stack of papers on the desk. "It's not really a problem. We can just leave them here. Let's hurry back to the classroom, while keeping the stacks at the desk." "No," he replied, his hand carefully placing sheets of paper onto a stack. "Even though they're just notebooks, they still contain personal information," he said. She looked thoughtful, an ellipsis floating in the air. Raised her arms, looking at him. "We should make sure to hand them over directly. Let's wait until the teacher gets back," he continued, escaping her lips. "I think you're worrying a little too much," he concernedly replied. "But since these affect grades, and there's no one else here, we need to keep an eye on them. Do we both really need to wait? We're wasting our lunch break," she complained. "We're both responsible for them. As class reps, we were entrusted with everyone's notebooks." The boy replied earnestly. Shirakawa-san sighed. "Responsible? I'm talking about efficiency here. I can stay and wait here." "I won't. If something happens, it will be a problem," he said worriedly. "We should wait together." Shirakawa-san just couldn't hold it. "What do you mean? I can't accept that. This is so inefficient. It's not logical at all, is it? How strange. This isn't like you, Ushidome-kun. It's like you're acting different than usual today." She watched Ushidome-kun, a strange feeling nagging at her. She furrowed her brow, her gaze fixed on his back, trying to make sense of it. What was it? Something wasn't right. Suddenly, her eyes widened, a jolt of realization hitting her. Ushidome-kun stood, head bowed, a deep flush coloring his cheeks. His hands were clasped in front of him, almost defensively. Her eyes, behind her glasses, were wide, fixed on him with an unblinking intensity. His hands tightened further, a silent, powerful clenched. She stood opposite him, a faint blush spreading across her own cheeks, a hesitant smile touching her lips. He was so nervous, his hands still clasped tightly. Then her eyes flew open, pupils dilating into dizzying spirals. The blush on her face intensified, her mouth set in a stunned, speechless line. Her eyes swirled like a whirlpool. She looked down, blush creeping up her face. And then, she walked quickly out of the room that a voice echoed. I'll go look for the teacher. I'll check the staff room. His head snapped to her direction. Wait, he shouted, and then the jackass realizes that he messed it up. Wow. Suck it up, brother. What's with me? Can't I even wait until after school? Shirakawa-san was still standing behind the door. Her face was flushed, the blush deepened. Her feet shuffled nervously. What should I do? Ushidome-kun, she thought, her hands clasped tightly. I'm sure that today, too. No, more like every day from now on. You're planning on touching me. Come now, Shirakawa-san. A little gentle touch of you assets won't arouse much sensations in the poor guy. Come now. Let's meet in the next chapter, guys. The rain was coming down hard. Will Ushidome-kun touch me again today, too? She wondered. What should I do? Hilda idly touch me. She thought, her face heating up. She watched Ushidome-kun from afar. Talking to himself, can't I even wait until after school? She was walking home in the rain. He's been touching me after school every day, yesterday, and the day before, too. She thought, her face flushed. Well, since it's purely for oxytocin, she thought, trembling. Just holding hands is But, it seems like every time we do it, the time we spend holding hands gets longer. She continued, Chie, Aru Koibito. Chapter 3. Outside, the rain started. She walked alone under her umbrella, the blush still burning on her cheeks. Splash, splash. Her foot landed squarely in a puddle. Her thoughts continued. At this rate, sooner or later. And maybe even today. What should I do? Shirakawa-san thought. Her face flushed, biting her lip. If Ushidome can't hold back. Her mind conjured a scene. They're getting too close, man. Ushidome-kun leaning in close with her. What if it escalates? What if something more than just holding hands happens? Shirakawa-san. A voice cut through her thoughts. Grab students murmured. Umbrellas bobbed in the downpour. Shirakawa-san stood on the crosswalk, rain plastering her hair to her face. An abandoned briefcase lay on the pavement nearby. Are you all right? That was dangerous, Ushidome-kun exclaimed, holding his umbrella over them both. The light is still red, so he paused, the traffic light. A stark red figure illuminated against the rain. Shirakawa-san's face flushed, stood beneath her umbrella. Raindrops dotted the edges. Ushidome-kun also stopped short. She walked briskly across the zebra crossing. The pedestrian signal beeped. Beep, heavy rain poured down. Ushidome-kun just helplessly uttered her name. Shirakawa-san. The teacher stood at the blackboard. Well then, who'd like to try solving question 5? The teacher's gaze turned towards a specific student. How about Shirakawa-san? Shirakawa-san, caught off guard, gasped. The classroom buzzed with murmurs. Zawa, Zawa, Zawa. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Shirakawa-san accepted or inevitable fate, Zawa. Shirakawa-san lowered her head, a blush creeping across her face. The bell rang. Ding dong. Rain lashed against the school building. Students poured out, a sea of white umbrellas against the gray. Inside, the classroom was empty, the rain blurring the windows. This part, a student murmured, is the equation that came up in class today. It's a key point, he continued, scribbling in his notebook. You should make sure to understand it well. He looked up. Ernest, the girl beside him, however, just glanced at him, a flicker of annoyance in her eyes. But she was flushed, her heart pounding. Badump, badump, badump. I guess it's still too early, she wondered. No, everyone else has already gone home. She sat at her desk, head bowed, pretending to work. Usually by now it would be about time, she thought, clenching her fist. Suddenly, Ushidome-kun's eye widened. Shirakasan, he muttered. Shall we call it a day? He asked, looking at her. Well, he caught our girl off guard. Good move. Bro's learning to hold his ground. Today, or rather these past few days, you haven't really been yourself, he said, concern in his voice. Even now, you've barely touched your notebook? Huh? She responded, surprised. Are you troubled about something? He asked, genuine concern etched on his face. If it's all right with you, I'd like to help. Would you tell me about it? She looked down, absorbing his offer. Oh, her face said it all. H-U-H? You're asking if something's bothering me? She yelled, her eyes blazing. Whose fault do you think this is? It's all your fault, she continued within her head. I've become like this because of you. Ushadome Kun. They were in the classroom now. She stood, arms crossed. She scoffed. You're mistaken. I don't have any worries at all. You're just imagining things, Ushadome Kun. I mean, oh, that's IT. If anyone's not acting like themselves, it's you, Ushadome Kun. These past few days, the one acting strange has actually been you, hasn't it? Ushadome Kun stood frozen, eyes wide, his face flushed crimson, sweat pouring down his brow. Clatter. Stop making weird accusations. This is getting unpleasant. I'm leaving, Ushadome Kun said. Wah! She exclaimed. Wait, are you running away? Weren't you the one who started accusing me first? She grabbed his arm, stopping him. Please stop yelling. He pleaded, a bead of sweat trickling down his face. If someone hears US, Shirakawa-san continued. So you do have something to feel guilty about. Then admit defeat and apologize. Ushadome Kun, still slumped, mumbled, this isn't about winning or losing. So just let go of me already. He begged, and he slipped and sprawled on the floor. Shirakawa-san stood over him, her hands clasped in front. See? A smile creeping on her face. She looked down at the defeated lame guy on the floor. Slam, that's karma for telling lies. The male student pinned the female student against the wall that he slammed his hand against the wall, trapping her. Even I, can get angry, you know, he shouted, his face a mask of fury. Do you understand? This is your owl warning. Just go home quietly today. If you still keep making a fuss, I won't hold back. Even if I have to make that mouth shut up by force. Though her eyes widened with surprise. She held up her hand, trying to stop him. He rubbed his temple, realization dawning on him. Wait. That came out wrong. His face was flooded with embarrassment. What are you going to do? She asked softly if I don't plan on staying quiet. What are you going to do? I won't let you. His voice issued a sentence. Get away with it. So, SCHF Jiru. Both put off their glasses, their eyes wide. A blush covering her face. The sound of footsteps echoed. Step. Ushadome Kun asked. Dio, you understand? Covering her cheeks with his hand, she replied, yes. So hurry up, and shut me up. Hurry up and make my mouth. The school building under a cloudy sky. Raindrops fell on leaves that a puddle reflected the cloudy sky, with ripples spreading across its surface. They both in each other's arms, holding each other, hugging one another tightly enough, as if they are committing to never let go. Sense got adult here. Go home, kids. Their lips touching each other, and in one another's arms, they ally kissed. Even though it happened just a few hours ago, it still doesn't feel real. She must be feeling the same thing. But it wasn't a dream. Today with Shirakawa-san, I splish. Ushadome sat in the bathtub, the warm water enveloping him. I kissed Shirakawa-san. He thought, the steam swirling around him like a hazy memory. His eyes widened, a bead of sweat trickling down his temple. Wait, he thought. When I think about it, is this really okay? We're just fellow class reps. Bah, he gasped. That's all we're supposed to be. He was chest deep in the bath, gripping the edges, his cheeks flushed with panic. After doing something like that, he thought, a sudden flush overwhelming him, isn't the only option to take responsibility and start going out. A flush of embarrassment washed over him. I mean, aren't we basically a couple now? Then he starts furiously scrubbing her head and hair. Wait. What am I even saying? I need to calm down. And then, as if a gentle interlude, a peaceful picnic scene unfolded by the water, Hashidom-kun starts fantasizing when faced with a difficult case tie-in. Just stay calm, read it again, and analyze it carefully. And he starts remembering his remedial classes. All right, here's the case tie-in. Between me and Ushidome-kun, what meaning did that kiss hold? Yeah, you got it correct. Bro's fantasizing Shirakawa-san wearing hot tight shirt pant and a stick petting him and teaching him. OH man, OH man. The teacher, Shirakawa-san, continued bad student who gets the answer wrong. Will be failed, expelled, and executed. Why, yes, teacher, I'll answer. Ushidome-kun shouted enthusiastically, it's true that I kissed Shirakawa-san. But it was only to keep her from speaking, and we both confirmed that it's just like how mouth-to-mouth resuscitation isn't considered a kiss. He gestures slightly, emphasizing that he continued. It might have seemed like a kiss, but it wasn't a real kiss. He clenches his fist, searching for the right words to dismantle the accusation. Then he DS his angle, his voice rising with a newfound, logical energy. In other words, there was nothing indecent about it. Having laid out his evidence, he delivers his conclusion with a litty "Tashin." That kiss held no special meaning. Teacher stood before a blackboard, a pointer stick in her hand, her expression serious. Then, a faint, gentle smile began to form on her lips. Just what I expected from you, Ushidome-kun. Ushidome-kun drying his hair, the sound of the hairdryer filling the room with a WHOSH, a blush on his cheeks, lost in a fantasy. Your answer gets a perfect score, his teachers echoed in his mind. The hairdryer hummed. Ushidome-kun thought, that's right. It was a perfectly logical decision. If things had gone on like that, a teacher might have heard the commotion, SHF, and reprimanded US. He then continued his thoughts. That said, given how sudden it was, I can't deny I was a little shaken myself. SHHFF. Ushidome-kun, rubbing the blush on his face. I should prepare and think about what to do next time, he mused. If Shirakawa-san acts the same way as today, suddenly his eyes widened behind the glasses. Wait, he thought. What if next time she wants even more? Here's the next question. A voice echoed from behind. Shirakawa-san's voice ringed his ears. Next time, if I say, it's not enough to keep me quiet. Just a kiss isn't enough. His thoughts twisted and turned, painting a vivid picture in his mind. He imagined Shirakawa-san, not on a bench, but perched casually on a classroom desk. Her glasses reflected the faint light, her expression a soft, knowing smirk as she gazed directly at him. A silent invitation to the gallery of her sunshine assets. Then what are you going to do to me? Ushidome-kun, she seemed to whisper, her eyes holding a challenge. He burst through a door with a resounding kachak. He leaned in, towel draped over his shoulders, his face set in fierce determination. It's time to study, he declared to the empty room, as if to himself. Then he began to walk towards his study desk, each step a heavy, deliberate stomp, stomp. His mind was a battleground. Focus, he silently commanded himself. Don't think about unnecessary things. He slumped into his chair, hunched over an open workbook, pen scratching furiously as he forced himself to concentrate. He had to study. He had to. I'm just feeling hot. Because of the bath, he thought. It's an impossible, ridiculous delusion. Because Shirakawa-san is always serious, reliable, and smart. He visualized her, a stack of books in her arms, moving with purpose through a library, surrounded by knowledge. And Bro started getting flashbacks. Tell me who won? She was standing there, surprised. The light streaked behind her. She took off her glasses, looking down at him, a blush creeping up her cheeks. Without her glasses, she looked up with her eyes soft, eyes so deep that it's a well if he fell into he could never come closer faster than her eyes closed. Her head tilted down, they were so close, his hands cupping her cheeks, hers on his face. Their eyes were closed, both blushing, their lips nearly touching. The rain fell softly outside the window, and he woke up from his dream. He stood there, towel over his shoulder, blush covering his face, sweat dripping down. He was mortified. How long is it supposed to last? Where should we place our hands? There's no correct answer for how to kiss. I had no idea at all how to do it. He starts thinking again. I was desperately trying to recall the kissing scene from a romantic drama that I happened to see once. I clumsily imitated what I remembered. I must have looked ridiculous. Shirakawa-san's small body, the softness of her lips, the unmistakable feeling of her chest, even through the fabric, that rich elasticity and warmth. Their faces were so close a silent breath shared between them, the world shrinking to just their intertwined lips. In his imagination, of course. She felt a rush, a dizzying heat spreading through her, her jairs rising to touch her chin. As if to steady herself, he looked just as dazed, eyes wide and unfocused, a tremor running through him. Catching our breath, he murmured, and then diving back in, he ished, pulling her close, closing their lips together, holding her tightly as if he never wanted to let go. The world outside faded into a soft blur of light and shadow as they sank deeper into the kiss. Sinking deeper into it, he thought, making sure that not a single thing can leak out. Later that night, he lay face down on his own bed. Shirakawa-san, I wonder what she's doing right now. What does she think about what happened today? His face flushed a deep red. Maybe right now, Shirakawa-san is also. He squeezed his eyes shut. No, don't get the wrong idea. Shirakawa-san, this is logical. I'm just taking a short break. Once I'm done, I'll get back to studying right away. Right away? What should I do? I've never seen Ushidome-kun make that kind of face before. What should I do? It really happened. Splish. I really kissed Ushidome-kun. Shirakawa-san was having the romantic flashbacks of today's encounter with Ushidome-kun at school, and she seems a bit flustered while taking bath and water dripping down the cleavage, going all the way around those aroused projections due to thought of him. What should I do? What's going to happen to US? But it's not like it was my fault or anything. I mean, I just asked, what are you going to do? That's all. Ushidome-kun was the one who took it further on his own, and she tries to victimize herself in her own thoughts. Why, yeah, that's right. In that sense, I'm more like the victim. Or rather, I just got caught up in the moment. I absolutely cannot allow anything more. No matter what Ushidome-kun says, anyway, anything beyond kissing is obviously OFF limits. Starting tomorrow, I have to be firm. The officer's voice cut through Shirakawa's thoughts. What's the matter, Shirakawa-san? He continued. It's dangerous to be in the middle of the street. If you're troubled, I'd like to help. Shirakawa-san shouted, don't come near me, squeezing her dripping watermelons with her hands. Even if you act kind, I won't be fooled again, got it? Fooled? I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. The officer Ushidome-kun replied innocently. Shirakawa-san, in the angry tone, let it out. I'm talking about the K-kiss. You forced it on me. Water splash. You did that even though we're not dating. She was clearly upset, and he just stood there. So that's what you meant. He ally said, adjusting his cap. We both confirmed it, didn't we? That if you wouldn't be quiet, I'd have to shut your mouth. He continued while walking towards her. But it was so shameless. There were plenty of other ways. Which of us is being shameless here? Or maybe the officer adjusted his glasses, a slight smirk playing on his lips. Maybe you're making a fuss again, to seduce me, just like last time. Her eyes widened, blush creeping up her cheeks. She was utterly shocked. He leaned in closer and grabbed her hairs. Plump. Splish. Graba. No. Let go of me, she cried. But the officer just held on tighter. Why? Every day after school. We touch each other like this, don't we? He asked. Clench. It feels good because of the oxytocin. He glanced. That's what you said, right? She stared wide-eyed, her face flushed, sweat dripping. Or was that just an excuse? So you can touch me? He asked teasingly. Click. Gachi. He scaffolded her. What a bad girl you are, he said. His voice echoed. We should let everyone see it. I'll show them the real Shirakawa-san. And how lewd you really are. He pulled her up with her hand, exposing her astes out wide. The water, accumulated in the depth between the two cushions, slowly dripped down her fair, sensitive skin. her armpits covered in reflecting glow and hot breath, leaving throat ready to take in any punishment. No, Shirakawa-san pleaded. No, don't look. Don't look at me. Still lying. You actually want to be exposed, don't you? You're wrong. Shirakawa-san started. You're wrong. I don't want to be exposed to everyone. The city was silent, just a vast starry sky above. Inside, the air conditioner hummed quietly. She wakes up from her dream, sat up, drowsy, and brought the glass to her lips. She took a sip. The bath. I took it for nothing. Her cheeks flushed red. Glanced. At her desk, she thought to herself normally, I'd be studying at this time. Studying? That's what I should be doing. This is the worst, that I'm pissed off, and I just can't forgive him. I really can't do anything, can I? She sobbed, the words heavy with despair. Her face was hidden. The sound of her crying filled the in a state of contemplation. Looking down, she muttered, I wasn't like this. And until yesterday, I didn't even know. She remembered the same scene of them taking of their glasses, leaning towards each other. Ushidome-kun, you're the one who taught me how it feels to touch someone's lips with my own. She sneezes, covering her nose gently, then takes a deep breath and expires a warm stream of air from mouth, thinking to herself, it's your fault. It's all because of you, Ushidome-kun. She takes her hands downward. What should I do when I see Ushidome-kun tomorrow? What kind of face am I supposed to make? Her hand between her thick, soft tights, diving deep in the river of her juices, flowing through the valley of excitation. What should I do? My lips. Ushidome-kun. She bites her gur. They've been forever changed because of you, Fawalan, a loud yawn echoed. Hey, so sleepy, the young man thought, dragging his feet. I barely got any sleep last night, Mo. Before I even knew it, IT was already getting bright outside. He realized, walking alongside other students. Is it going to be okay? What if she can tell that I was doing it all night until morning? He touched his glasses, panic flashing in his eyes, sweat flying. Ugh, nonsense. There's no way she'd know. I'll just act the same as always. She won't realize I'm sleep-deprived. Just stand straight and greet her naturally. A group of students were walking. The girl with glasses raised her head to face him, yawning, and she freezes still as a statue, and Ushidome-kun, mirroring her, trapped in the same silent storm. Their feet, so close, yet worlds apart in that moment. Gee, he started, voice barely a whisper. Good. Amor, good morning, the Shirakawa-san replied, equally flustered, averting her gaze. The bustling hallway, a sea of students oblivious to their awkward dance. Two girls by the shoe lockers, laughing, carefree, and the normal chatter goes on. Morning, morning, ding dong. What are we doing in P today? Did you see the photo I sent yesterday? Yeah, IT was crazy. Chatter, chatter, chatter. Are you sleep-deprived? Ushidome-kun asks her eyes widened, pupils shrinking to pinpricks. You looked kinda sleepy earlier. What were you doing so late? Her chest tightened, her bow tie feeling suddenly constricting. She lowered her head, a blush creeping up her cheeks. And nothing special. Just a little, she stammered, studying. I was just up late studying. His eyes widened, a blush mirroring hers now rising on his face. He thought, Chie, so that's why? Wah, what a coincidence. It's the same for me, actually. I was up late last night, too. Step. Gulp. Ushidome-kun reached into an open locker, retrieving a pair of dark slippers. SHFF. Adjusting his glasses, looked around, puzzled. Shirakawa-san. Oh no, my. Fair shoes fell of her hand. She looked down, a faint blush on his cheeks. On sleeped. You need to hurry up and pick them up, she demanded. What on earth has happened to us? I can't even remember anymore how we normally were around each other. He thought to himself, just how am I supposed to act around Shirakawa-san? Touch. Thank you very much. She replied, who knew a single day could feel this long? Shirakawa-san thought to herself, I'm already nervously looking forward to after school. The sky looks so heavy, like it's about to pour. It's like something out of a horror movie. Dark clouds. Empty hallways. Gives me the creeps. Utility pole? Just standing there, got a restroom sign. And the door's ajar. Creepy, isn't it? Wonder who's inside. Then there's this girl, Kachak. What was that? HHHSSSS. Eerie sound. Right next to her, that girl. What's she thinking? She looked so lost in thought. She looked down at the cloth, her brow furrowed slightly, a faint line forming at her mouth. Then, a subtle smile played on her lips. A quiet, internal expression. Silhouettes embraced in front of windows shining with light. Two couples lost in the fragrance of each other's lips. Bashan. Slap. Her foot hit the ground. She bowed her head, her hand touching her lip, a shadow on her cheek. Standing at the sinks in the washroom, she feels solitude. In the empty classroom, Ushidonkoen was waiting. He paused, his gaze drifting. Then his face flushed, a bead of sweat forming as he adjusted his glasses. Slide. G.A. Shirakabe-sen burst into the room, bright and cheerful. The boy recoiled, shrinking into his desk. Flinch, he just sat at his desk, pen in hand, looking up, a slight frown on his face. I got started already, and I already confirmed that the windows are properly locked, so Shirakabe-sen, please take your seat and study. Ushidonkoen just watched Shirakabe-sen stand there, silent in the doorway. He just waited. Ushidonkoen ally broke the silence. Shirakabe-sen. Her hands were clasped so tightly, her knuckles white. Clench. Shirakabe-san ally spoke, her voice barely a whisper. Soru, Ushidonkoen. Today. Her face was serious. The room fell silent once more before Shirakabe-sen gathered her courage. Ushidonkoen. There's something I want to talk about.